The easiest nacho bar. I love making this recipe for parties or for a fun, easy family dinner. All right, let's get started. So for this nacho bar, I love making things in the crock pot because one, it's easy to cook in the crock pot, and two, it will keep your ingredients warm. So for today's nacho bars, I'm using two different crock pots. The first one is this green pan crock pot. It's awesome. We love it. I'm going to link it in the description below for you. And then I'm going to use the Beautiful Line multi-cooker as well. I'll show you guys that one a little bit later in this video. I'm going to link it below for you as well. What's great is these are like two price points. This one's a little higher. The Beautiful multi-cooker, it's a little bit more affordable. So you have your choices based on the market that you're in. I'm also going to include a link on all of our favorite crock pots so you can check those out, as well as our digital crock pot cookbook, because we love crock pot cooking. And if you love it as much as we do, you're going to want to check that out. So first, with any good nacho bar, you need like a really good protein meat base. Today, we are making the best and the easiest taco meat. We like to make it in the crock pot. We are going to use our 6-quart crock pot, and we like to add 1 pound of lean ground beef. If you're using like a lean ground beef, you don't have to pre-brown this. You can cook it in the crock pot and just break it up at the end of the cook time, and you don't have to worry about that excess grease, and it saves you time and one less pan to clean. Now we're going to add 2 tablespoons taco seasoning. You can use store-bought or homemade. I'm going to link our homemade recipe in the description below for you so you can check that out. And then 1 cup salsa, any salsa that you like. We always say when cooking the beef, just use like cheap, affordable salsa, or if you have that leftover salsa in your refrigerator, just use that and save your fancy homemade salsa for toppings. Once all that's been added to the crock pot, you don't have to add anything else. So no liquid, no broth. Cover your crock pot and cook this on high for about 3 to 4 hours. And we're going to break up that beef about 30 minutes before serving, and it's going to be perfect every single time. So let's go ahead and get this started. Perfect. And then while that's cooking, we're going to get the other ingredients ready for our taco bar. So once you get that beef going and cooking, now it's time to start the cheese dip. I'm going to use another crock pot. This is that Beautiful multi-cooker I was talking about. This is in the Drew Barrymore line at Walmart. It's very affordable and it cooks great. My only complaint is that the lid is not clear, but honestly, you get used to it. So it's awesome. So we're going to use that for our cheese dip today. We are doing a quick and easy 2-ingredient cheese dip because this is a quick and easy nacho bar. So you definitely can use your own homemade cheese dip if you would prefer. You do you. But for today, we are going to throw in some Velveeta. Now, if you're not familiar with Velveeta, it's available at most grocery stores now in the United States, so check it out. It's a quick and easy way to make cheese dip. I am using 32 ounces today. I find that it's best to dice it into smaller pieces before throwing it in the crock pot, as it just melts more evenly that way instead of having the whole diced cube in there. That's giving me trouble, so I'm just going to use my knife to slice it on open. So just take the whole block, put it right on your cutting board. And then what I do is I get my big kitchen knife. We're going to link this in the description below because we love this thing. We use it all the time. I'm going to cut it lengthways and then dice it from there just to keep it all together and make it fast and easy. Now they have some different options on Velveetas nowadays that I've seen, like the white queso Velveeta. That would work great in this recipe as well. Once it's diced up, just add it to your crock pot. Now, we didn't talk about crock pot size. This is also a 6-quart. You can use a smaller crock pot for this cheese dip. So if you have a 4-quart or a 5-quart, that'll work for this as well. And you can use, like we mentioned, a homemade queso. We have a lot on eatingonadime.com if you want to try one of those out, if you're feeling more adventurous. just search queso and they will pull right up. There is some stovetop options as well as some crock pot options. I just like the crock pot for this. Like I said at the beginning, it just keeps the ingredients warm. So when you cook it, then when you serve it, you don't have to worry about your food getting cold. So I'm just throwing in this diced cheese, and then we're going to throw in a little bit of Rotel. So once the Velveeta is added, then we're going to add some Rotel. This is a 10-ounce can of Rotel. Now, again, Rotel comes in a lot of varieties. So if you like mild, hot, original, pick your favorite. I like the hot because I like spicy things. But for today, because I'm feeding a lot of people and they could have sensitive tongues, I'm going to do the original. We're just going to add this right in. Now, if you do not have Rotel available in your area, just add a can of diced tomatoes around, do the petite, small diced tomatoes around 10 ounces, and then do 1 can of green chilies, and that'll give you similar flavor. Okay, that's all you need in this crock pot, and we're gonna get it started as well. This one does not take as long. I'm gonna go ahead and put it on low because it's gonna take on low for about 1 to 2 hours or on high for about an hour. And this one, we wanna stir occasionally. Most of the time we're like, just leave your crock pot, set it and forget it. But on this cheese dip, I don't want it to burn. So I'm going to stir it about every 20 minutes or so to make sure it's not burning on the bottom. Okay, let's get this going. So on this, you hit the slow cook option and then you can hit your temp from there. And then we just get it started. Now, while those are getting ready, let's make a quick and easy guac. So if you like guacamole, this is the easiest recipe there is, and it tastes awesome. If you're not a guac fan and none of your company likes it, of course, just leave it out. So the hardest part with making good guacamole is finding the right avocados. So this one is really good. This one's not perfect. So when you go to the store, you want to press them and you want your finger to have some give to it. So you can press down, but it's not going to go all the way through. So you want it nice and soft, but not too soft. Does that make sense to anybody? If it's very firm and your finger doesn't go down at all, then it's not ready. These two are perfect. This one I wish was a little bit softer, but I think it's going to work great. I just had to get what was available at the store. All right, let's get this going. So the recipe is linked in the description below, and in the recipe it says 2 avocados, but mine were kind of smaller, so I'm going to go ahead and use 3 today. First, what you want to do is cut your avocado in half. There is a pit in the middle of it, and you just kind of want to cut around it and let your knife slide around it easily. And then you can twist it, and it'll come right in half like this. And then you want to remove the pit on the avocado. So for me, what I do is I take my knife, I put it right in the pit, and then carefully remove it from the avocado, and it works great every time. I'm going to go ahead and remove that, and then get a spoon and remove the avocado from the shell into a mixing bowl. So on my avocado here, there's one little black spot. I usually leave that and just move around it so that it doesn't affect the quality of it. And I just spoon it right out of there and put it right into a small mixing bowl. So once the avocado is added, then you're going to get a fork and we're going to mash it up. Now I pre-mash it a little bit before I stir in the other ingredients. It's completely up to you. So my avocados are not perfect, but again, that's what was available at the grocery store, and I still think it's going to taste great with mixed in with the other ingredients. Okay, I got the avocado smashed, and now we're going to add just a little bit of lime juice. Just a half a lime is sufficient, and I'm going to use this lemon juicer or lime juicer, whatever you want, to help get as much lime out as possible. This is great because it adds a lot of flavor, and the citrus helps the avocado not brown as quickly. So it's kind of a 2-for-1 benefit there. Look how much juice I got out of that with that little thing. I'm going to link this for you below in case you guys are interested. And then we're going to add just a little bit of garlic salt, of course. And then a 1/4 cup salsa. So I did say this was our lazy day avocado, so that's why we like to use a chunky salsa instead of like adding in diced tomatoes and onions. It just is a quick way to make guacamole with very few ingredients. So we were talking before about whether or not anybody's had good store-bought guacamole. I've had a couple of really good ones. So if you have a good one in your area, you can definitely serve that with this nacho bar if you prefer. But this is great and quick and easy. So, all right, you guys, if you're watching, make sure you let me know. Do you guys like avocados or not? I feel like avocados are kind of a hot or cold thing. People like love them or hate them. I love them. My dad does not like them. My sister loves them. So let me know. Do you guys love them or hate them? So before we're done with this guac, I always like to give it a little taste test. I just have a little chip, and that way you can adjust the seasonings as needed. Let's see what it needs here. It's really good. I'm going to put a little bit more garlic salt just based on my preference, but everything else is perfect. Okay, once that is done, we are going to set this aside, and then we're going to get out everything else for our nacho bar. The only thing else to do is to prepare your other toppings. So just think about what you like and what guests like. Now in this recipe, we've listed out some like classic toppings that people love, like black olives or sliced jalapeños. That are great as well. I went ahead and drained and rinsed some black beans. Now I don't worry about cooking these or anything. It's great just served as is. They're already pre-cooked in a can. So I just rinse them, and then we're going to put them in this serving bowl here. And that way people can top with beans if they prefer. So I like to do the nacho bar, and that way everyone can make their customized nachos, and it's really fun and a little festive. Only other thing I want to do is to prepare some diced tomatoes for toppings as well. So we're just going to dice these up and put them in a little container as well. And then you can't have a nacho bar, of course, without tortilla chips. So just get your favorite kind. I'm using the party size because it's for a party. I like the traditional restaurant quality, I don't know what you call it, like triangle size chips. Those are my favorite, but you use the ones you like. If you like the scoops, you like the rounds, there's so many options now. Use whatever you like. Now I am putting them in a large serving bowl just to be cute and festive. If it's like for a quick and easy dinner, I would probably just serve it out of the bag. But for like a party or a get together, I like to put it in a fun bowl so everyone can prepare their nachos. Okay, now all we have to do is check on the meat and the cheese, and our nacho bar will be ready. So just about 30 minutes ago, I just broke up the meat with this. I'm going to link this in the description for you guys if you need one. It's great, and it looks like it was made on the stovetop, so it cooks perfectly in the crock pot with a lot less work. And here's the cheese. Now, if it's getting too thick, you can thin it down with a little bit of milk, and it'll help. You just wanted a good pouring consistency, and it will thicken and as it's on the keep warm, so you might have to add a little bit as it sits, but right now it's perfect. And then it's ready to serve and enjoy. So what's great about this is that there's plenty of room in the crock pot. So if you need to make more meat, you can easily double, triple the meat amount. And as long as your crock pot can hold it, it's going to be fine. Same thing with the cheese. This is going to be plenty for what we're serving, but if you're having a large gathering, you can easily double this and make lots of cheese. So now all that's left is to prepare your nachos. I'm so excited. I'm just going to use my hands, but if you're having a party, you might want to use tongs. Completely up to you on what you're comfortable with. I like to start with a layer of chips, and then I drizzle the cheese on top. I'm a cheese right on the chip kind of girl, but what's great about this is that you can do it however you like. So if you like the meat layered first or the jalapenos, you can easily assemble it that way. All of these toppings are amazing though. Okay, so we got the cheese on, and now we're going to layer on some ground beef. It looks amazing. And the only thing left is the toppings. Then I'm going to add some beans. Looks awesome. And then a little bit of tomatoes. And some jalapenos. Now I'm going to skip the black olives because they're not my favorite, but we like to include them because some of our guests might like them. And of course, top it with a little bit of guacamole. So I have linked the instructions on how to make this nacho bar at home in the description below. So make sure you check that out. If you can't find it, just Google nacho bar eating on a dime and it'll pull right up. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss any more of our easy and family-friendly recipes. Until then, I will see you guys next time. Let me see if I can get a good piece here in my sister's kitchen. Bye, friends.